personnel, but even you, the residents
if
of
you
the
see
place,
something, say something.
Because right now they said they got a tip off from a resident that something like that is going on. So I would indulge everyone out there, when you see something, say something, because like they say, a stitch in time saves 9.
Saves more than 9.
Okay.
All right, let's move away from Ondo State and then check more stories from the national front line. This one says Tinubu can sack me if he desires. That's not my statement. So who is saying that? Wike is saying that. He says Tinubu can sack him if he wants. Amid increasing calls for the sack of the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, the minister shut down demands for his sack. Staunch critics of the minister while wading into the hostility between Wike and his successor as governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, have advised President Tinubu to remove Wike from office to resolve the political crisis in the state. Some of the critics include a coalition of leaders within the All Progressives Congress APC, operating under the APC Leaders Forum and the Tinubu Shetima Solidarity Movement TSSM. The group issued an open letter calling for the immediate removal of Nyesom Wike as Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT. The coalition cited alleged insubordination, anti-party activities and threats to national unity as grants for removing Wike from office. Speaking during a thank you visit to Obiakpo Local Government Council, Wike clapped back at his critics, insisting that Tinubu can sack him if he desires. If my appointer, quote, believes that I cannot offer anything again, he has a right. It's not that you should tell him, said Wike. Check details in the Guardian newspaper of this morning.
You know, Wike has been trending. I don't know if I should say for good and bad reasons, but he has just been trending. Because even on Punch, I have this saying, Wike ends local government tour, Assembly alleges plot to stall Fubara's impeachment. Yes, the lawmakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly have alleged that they uncovered a plot by certain individuals linked to the executive arm of the state government to obtain a court order preventing the legislature from performing its function. This comes as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, ended his tour of the 23 local government areas of the state. The statement issued in Port Harcourt on Sunday by the chairman of the House Committee on Information, Petitions and Complaints said the alleged plot involved securing an ex parte order from a Rivers State High Court operating outside Port Harcourt, the state capital. You know, like I said, Wike has just been trending. It's all about, you know, even a lot of people are accusing him though that he has a hand with the impeachment of Fubara. Although I would say, in as much as we also feel like, okay, he has a hand, but we should not put aside those accusations that are leveled against Fubara.
Well, I think it's the duty of the Assembly to look into that. Yeah. Of course, set up a panel of inquiry via the Chief Judge of the state. Standard procedure, rule of law, due process must be followed in anything. Meanwhile, the governor, Simi Fubara, has called for calm among residents amid the ongoing impeachment process initiated by the House of Assembly. The governor made the appeal during a church service to mark the 2026 Armed Forces and Remembrance Day, assuring the congregation that, quote, everything will be fine. I guess he's seen what we are not seeing, and perhaps reading in between the lines.
No, he also talked about him being quiet is for a reason. That he has, there's a way he had a quote, more like a parable, something talking about the dog that doesn't bark or something. You know, I feel like Fubara has something up his sleeve.
Well, no matter what he has on his sleeves, I think both of them are not kids. They are adults, they are leaders in their own rights. The interest of Rivers State should be their priority.
But I think what shook Wike is the defection. He didn't see that coming because after the defection, now he's coming out crying, saying Fubara didn't follow the orders he gave, and now he's taking
the agreement.
More like they had an agreement on what he should do, and he didn't follow it. That he employed over 10,000 workers, and Fubara laid them off. A lot of accusations, and now he's even coming out that they had a closed door meetings. And he didn't follow through. I think the closed door meeting with Tinubu, and he said he didn't follow through. But right now, he's going to come out and spill what the agreement was. You know, it's just a lot. Okay, moving away from that, still on Punch newspaper, Chima Amanda's lawyer writes Lagos Hospital, doctor suspended. Solicitors acting for renowned Nigeria author Chimamanda Adichie have written to the Era Care Multi-Specialist Hospital Lagos over the death of her 21-month-old son, Nkanu Nnamdi. This comes as the Lagos State government confirms the suspension of the anesthesiologist at the clinic as probes continue into the circumstances surrounding the child's death. In a legal notice dated January 10, 2026, solicitors acted for Chimamanda and her partner, Dr. Ivara Esege, alleged that the hospital, its staff, the attending medical personnel, breached the duty of care owed to their son, who died in the early hours of Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. This is a sad one. Because when I saw the story, it's more like negligence on the part of the doctor, not doing what needs to be done. And when
I think findings, investigations in the matter would ascertain if it was actually negligence or not. Let's allow. Of course, there must be a way that they have their own way of investigating such. For instance, if it's the military now, there's orderly room and all of those other things. At the end of the day, they will make public their findings and they will know what exactly it is. But it's sad that somebody had to die in that process. Whether it was negligence or it was systemic failure or rot, whatever it is, it was sad, terribly sad that a life had to be lost in the process. Well, the renowned author has taken a legal turn in the matter, and of course, let's see what happens at the expiration of the process. I think that way we'll be able to see what exactly it is. Back to the Guardian newspaper. Khan is speaking. That's the Christian Association of Nigeria. The chairman of the association in the 19 northern states and Federal Capital Territory, Reverend Joseph John Hayab, has alleged plans by certain elements to ensure the North remains divided through targeted killing of Christians in the country. He claimed during an interactive session with journalists at his residence in Kaduna the weekend that intelligence reports have it that the targeted killing of Christians is being hatched to take place within the North Central. He therefore called on Christians within those states not to panic but be vigilant and prayerful, as well as report any suspicious movement to relevant security agencies. Details you'll find in the Guardian newspaper of this morning.
Okay, moving on to the Nation newspaper. Breaking, this says the NAD suspends nationwide strike. The National Association of Resident Doctors has suspended its planned nationwide strike following what is described as significant progress recorded on its demands through sustained engagements with the federal government and other key stakeholders. The decision was taken as a virtual emergency National Executive Council meeting held on January 11, 2026, where the association reviewed the status of its demands and assessed recent development. The association said the suspension followed direct presidential intervention led by Vice President Kashim Shettima on behalf of President Bola Tinubu. I think that's a good one because we all need these people on ground. We cannot do without the health workers. So it's actually good that they've been responded to and their demands are in review.
Well, I think it's cheery to note, especially amid the I think it's a circular that came out recently inviting all the vice chancellors of federal universities to a ceremony where the federal government will be inking the dotted lines of agreement with the Association of Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. So if the education sector is going smoothly, the health sector is going well, I think security should also be looked into if that one also goes well, and then a harmony in economic prosperity and so on and so forth. When all of these are looked into, those are the things that you would see as indices of a prosperous nation. And I think if there's anything called a serious government, that is what this government should be at this point in time, by looking into all of these issues. In any case, that is the reason Nigerians voted the government into power. So it's very important. Let's check the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The Nigerian Tribune newspaper has this for us. Reviewed how illegal miners, bandits combined to attack Old Oyo National Park. Further details have emerged from last Tuesday's attack on the old Oyo National Park office in Orire local government area of Oyo State. The attack, which bandits reportedly carried out from Barutin and Kayama axis of Kwara State, was defined by security forces as a lone attack meant as a retaliation against the activities of the forest guards in the park. It was gathered that some bandit groups had made attempts to penetrate the park for some time but were checkmated by a combined team of security operatives in the intelligence network and the military. However, the arrest of some illegal miners by the forest guards was said to have triggered the bandits' attack. Sources close to the ongoing investigation told journalists that some legal and illegal miners actually cohabit in the park area and that the forest guards, who were variously controlled by the Federal Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, regularly carry out raids and arrests of illegal persons operating in the park. Details of the story you'll find in the Nigerian Tribune of this morning.
Okay, moving on to the nation. We've heard a lot about defection, and of course we have another one. The Kano governor joins APC today, Monday, the 12th of January 2026. The governor, Abba Yusuf of Kano State, will dump the new Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) for the All Progressive Congress today. A member of the State Executive Council reaffirmed this to newsmen. The party is already agog to welcome the governor, who is said to have concluded all forms of consultation with the electorate and stakeholders. The defection date was initially fixed for January 5th, but was shifted to allow room for further consultation. To commit more stakeholders, particularly the Kano National Assembly lawmakers, to the move. Like I said, a lot of defection. The 2027, initially people were like, are you sure we're not going to have a one party? But I don't think it is. Because looking at ADC, although they've been on the low, but I think Peter Obi shook the table.
The calibration.
You understand? Because everybody was like, oh, what has become of ADC? Initially, they were just there. A lot of attention was being drawn to them until sometime they cooled off. But I think 2027 is going to be really hot, because we also have one that says Kwankwaso is not going to be allowed to come out for the president. He's not going to be given the ticket for the 2027 election. So you can see that there's a lot of back and forth. But we hope for a better Nigeria from 2027.
This latest move by the governor of Kano State is another political recalibration of the system. And when you look at it, what Kwankwaso has always banked on is what the APC is taking away from him now. If the governor eventually moves to the fold of the APC, the ruling party is doing everything it can to consolidate on the mass movement of governors, lawmakers and all into its fold.
Yes.
Especially because democracy, politics, as we have it, it's about number. It's a game of numbers. And in this case, Kano is not a small state.
It isn't.
And you will recall that at every election, it's always these KKK states that you always
the
wait for, and then they bring in the vote, and then the tune changes.
Everything is going up.
Tinubu is being strategic, whether we like it or not.
Okay.
And unfortunately for the opposition, People's Democratic Party and all others, it doesn't look like they are understanding the terrain as Tinubu understood it while in the opposition.
But would you say Tinubu is being strategic? I thought they said there is dispute in their party, hence why they are defecting. So it's not Tinubu factor, it's more like the dispute in their party. So let's not call it strategy.
Dispute in their party. And in politics, there's something they do.
Yes.
You cause disarray in the camp of your enemy so that your own camp can swell up. So you're in between the lines now.
You know what? Let's
So it's a question of the fact that in the coming days there would be a lot of interesting moves.
Yes.
Now we find Kano State governor moving. Well, in Osrc State, but for the who's and cries, the political labalu, you will have also find Ademola Adeleke go into the APC, but then it didn't happen. So he went into a court party, and so many moves will still happen. As a matter of fact, don't also be shocked if towards the end of the line of the game, you find even people moving from the APC
That's what we call defection and redefection.
Let's hope that, of course, all of these will culminate into a better, healthy political competition in our country, devoid of do or die affair. Because if there's anything we must not lose sight of, it is the essence of peace, not just in our polity, but also in our economy and also in the entire national fiber of the country. So it's important. We do not care how you play your game, but play it in a way that does not affect the peace and tranquility of the Nigerian state. That said, it is important that citizens also do their best in voting according to their conscience. Vote commercialization at this point should be a no-no. It's a time where we really need conscientious leaders who would be able to redefine the tune and then the direction of the country onto prosperity. It's very important.
That's why we're charging the new INEC chairman, because we need to see transparency in the voting system. Because we can talk, when you're talking about the voting, Nigerians also using their conscience to vote. Most of them have developed voters apathy because they feel like their vote does not even count or it doesn't get nowhere. So we are charging Amukwiton, right, to show us that this his own administration is going to bring voters apathy to an end.
Well, as a Nigerian, and I dare say that many other Nigerians also share the sentiment.
Yes.
Nigerians look forward to seeing what is different that Amukwiton is bringing on board. Yes, the days of Beaver, the days of this and that, the controversies on IREV and all of those other things. What positive change will Amukwiton bring on board? Only time will tell. We'll take a break on our AM Today, our very first break, of course. When we return, we'll be looking into issues that have to do with the development of Ondo State and the national frontier. Please do stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Chief Michael Adekunle Ajashin, born November 28, 1908, was a distinguished Nigerian educator, politician and statesman renowned for his integrity, commitment to democracy, and transformative impact on education in Nigeria. Born in Owo, present-day Ondo State, Ajashi began his education at St. Andrew's College, Oyo, from 1924 to 1927, where he trained as a teacher. He furthered his studies at Faura Bay College in Sierra Leone, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree in Modern History and Economics in 1946. He then obtained a postgraduate diploma in education from the University of London in 1947. Ajashi's career in education commenced with his appointment as principal of Umadi College in 1947. He was instrumental in staff development, encouraging teachers to pursue further training at institutions like University College, Ibadan. In 1963, he founded Osrc High School, serving as the first principal until his retirement in 1975. Ajashin's political journey began in the 1950s as a founding member and national vice president of the Action Group, advocating for policies such as free education, universal health care, and Nigeria's immediate independence. He served as a federal legislator from 1954 to 1966. In 1979, he was elected governor of Ondo State under the Unity Party of Nigeria (UPN), with Akin Omoboriwo as his deputy. His administration prioritized education, establishing the Ondo State University in 1982, now Ekiti State University, and the Polytechnic Owo. In the 1983 elections, Ajashin was initially declared the loser amid allegations of electoral malpractice. However, the Supreme Court later reinstated him, affirming his victory. His tenure was cut short by the military coup on 31 December 1983. In 1939, Ajashin married Babafunke Tenabe, a fellow educator. They had 4 children, including Olajumoke Anifowoshi, who later served as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State. Ajashin's commitment to democracy was evident in the 1990s when he became a leading figure in the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, advocating for the restoration of democracy and the recognition of MKO Abiola's electoral mandate. His activism led to his arrest in 1995 under General Sani Abacha's regime. In recognition of his contributions, Ondo State University was renamed Adekunle Ajashin University in 2000. His governance style, marked by simplicity and incorruptibility, remains a benchmark in Nigerian politics, as he once stated. And I quote, "I came into office in October 1979 with a set of my own rich native dresses and left office in December 1983 with the same set of dresses. No addition, no subtraction." His legacies continue to linger in memories, generation after generation.
Alright, welcome back everyone. Now to the conversation segment of our show this morning. Our first topical issue is centering on unlocking tourism potential of Ondo State under the current administration. We've been joined this morning by the Director of Tourism, Ondo State Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Dr. Adeola Aderola. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
On
Good
air
morning.
today.
Good morning.
I do understand that just towards the tail end of last year, Mari Festival came alive almost 9 months, 9 years after its dormancy, so to say. And I'm wondering, what exactly is the big deal about Mari? Why is it Mari that the current administration is also still focusing on? Is that the only thing in the tourism arena?
Well, I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity this morning. Actually, I'm standing in for the Honorable Commissioner. He would have loved to be here for some other pressing issue. Mari Festival, like you have rightly said, Mari Festival in the last couple of years has become a global brand. Unfortunately, the festival had to stop for some reason for almost 8 years. Well, we felt that there's a need, if we really want to reposition the tourism sector, create an entertainment, make Ondo State an entertainment hub. There's a need for us to bring back Mari Festival.
Why did it stop in the first place? The people who knows it deserve an explanation.
Well, I would not want to go into that that detail, but I believe for reason best known to the government, they felt there's a need to put an hold to the event. But having met with Mr. Governor, we discussed with him and we made him to realize the importance of that festival, looking at the fact that that festival has gained the global, attention. And then we got the nod of Mr. Governor, and he asked us to, revive the festival. And if you would agree with me, a lot of people thought we would not be able to pull the, event, looking at the fact that for almost 8 years we've not been able to, celebrate the festival. But we were determined to really bring back the festival. And what we had last year was an abridged version of Mari Festival. It was not the full Mari Festival. But in spite of that, you will agree with me that last year event, blew our mind, because a lot of people were surprised that we could pull it. And how did we do it?
Before you go into how you did it, could it be that the previous administration felt it was a waste of public resources doing this year in, year out? Perhaps that was why it did not come to life for more than 8 years, and now you're pulling it to success, in your own words, just last year.
I won't put it in that way. I think for every government, they have their own policy direction, and maybe the last administration felt they need to pay attention to other areas, but I don't want to speak for them, because I don't want to, lay blame on any past administration. Okay. But what I'm more interested in is the current administration, their determination, their focus to reposition the culture and tourism sector. So I just want to dwell on the present for now. The festival is back. We're grateful to God that it's back. We want to also, appreciate Mr. Governor for giving us the, approval to revive Mari Festival. I think.
All right. Aside the Mari Festival, what other festival is the ministry trying to prioritize and revive? Because we cannot just only put emphasis on just the Mari Festival alone if we are looking for tourism growth.
Well, thank you very much. And we equally got the approval of Mr. Governor to, promote some major festivals in Ondo State, like the Osrc Festival in Idori, the Ogun Festival, and then the major Igogo Festival that is an annual festival in Owo, and some other festivals like that. We got the nod of Mr. Governor. And as I speak, Mr. Governor also, giving us approval in terms of fund for this year's budget to execute the promotion of this festival. So for us in the ministry now, this is a new year for us, and this year we're going to be busy in the sense that we have a lot of activities lined up for this year. And for those festivals, they have specific time within the year that these festivals are celebrated. So we'll be working in conjunction with the affected communities to see how we can actually blow up this festival, to make it an international event that people from the diaspora will also want to be part of. And when people from the diaspora come into Ondo State to be part of this festival, there's be a lot of economic benefit to the people of Ondo State. You understand? So that's what we're trying to do this year. We're looking at how we can, promote this festival and make it. The truth is, we cannot actually touch all the major festivals in the state because we have a lot of them. But we have selected some that we think would, go cut across the 3 senatorial districts, so that no senatorial district within the state will be left out. Okay. You understand?
So what festival is coming from the southern district?
For the southern senatorial district, we have the boat regatta, which is what we were looking at, how we can actually, promote that event.
We talk about culture and tourism, and we talk about bringing people in diaspora to come to the States to come and also attend this festival. But then we cannot also ignore the infrastructural decline of the Idore Hills. We can see. So what is the ministry also doing to also improve how it looks? Because, you know, attraction is still the best thing. How it looks would attract people to come. When it's looking dilapidated, or, you know, the decline in the infrastructure, people would not want to come because they would also be scared that what if I come here, are we secured enough? So what is the ministry doing regarding that?
Yes, thank you very much. Let me start this way. For the tourism industry, infrastructural development is key, because infrastructural development comes with the growth of the tourism industry, and that's why this administration is key on infrastructural development, which is part of the EASE agenda of Mr. Governor. And Mr. Governor haven't realized the fact that there's a need for infrastructure development, most especially to areas or communities where these tourism centers are located. Like, as you can see now, there's the major road leading connecting Akure to Idori is under construction. Yes, and the essence of this is to open up that particular axis, one for agricultural product and also for easy movement of tourists to Idori Hills. And apart from that, the governor has also given us the nod for us to reposition the Idori Hills. Like you have rightly said, I won't lie to you that the state of the site presently, it's not that okay. But this year, we're going to work around it. We're going to see how we can improve the state in terms of facility of Idori Hills.
What do you want to improve that?
For us, you know, Idori Hills presently now is on the tentative list of UNESCO. We have two core areas. We have the buffer zone, which is the base, and then we have the we have the core zone, which is the top of the hill, and then the buffer zone, which is the base. Now, according to UNESCO guideline, we're not allowed to do any major construction within the core zone, but we can play around the buffer zone. And what the government is trying to do now is to improve the aesthetics within the buffer zone, to add some facility to that, so that it makes it attractive for tourists. Now, apart from the fact that you want to go hopping, you want to come down, also, you know, relax. So we are going to change the face of that place. But for government is going to do some infrastructural development, but we are still looking for private sector's investment in that particular, because, you know, tourism is capital intensive, and government cannot fully shoulder the responsibility of developing these potentials, looking at the fact that government still need to pay attention to other areas. So, but I know the necessary, you know, infrastructure will be put on ground so that would attract investors also to come.
All right, Dr. Dero, let's look at it this way. You did say that last Mari Festival, 2025 Mari Festival, was an abridged one.
Yeah.
What made it an abridged one? Finances or what?
Yeah.
What exactly made it an abridged version?
You know, we've not had the event for close to 8 years, and we felt that in our own wisdom, if we try to go full blown, it may not be too, you know, easy for us, looking at the fact that for 8 years we've not been able to, you know, celebrate that event. So we thought, let's have an abridged version of the event. So if you look at it, there are some major events within Mari that did not take place last year. For instance, the mountain climbing event didn't come up. Why? Because the mountain climbing event is an event that required 100% safety, and we'll be bringing, you know, mountain climbers from other parts of the world, from South Africa, from Spain. Now, this required time and proper planning. Now, bringing in the required equipment also will take time, because, you know, it's an event, like I said, that required 100% safety. I've been the chairman of the mountain climbing event since the inception of Mari, and I also double as the secretary of the Mari Planning Committee. And so we felt, let's put that aside, but let's look at other smaller events that we can actually, you know, bring in and then make. As
the state lost the arrangement with Koskaris, that has always put color to Mari Festival over the years. You've been at the Sado, I know, and that's why I'm asking you. I want to know, the people of Ondo State deserve to know what exactly has happened to that agreement.
Well, at the inception of Mari Festival in 2020, now we did had an agreement with Costa Rica, and I know that particular year Costa Rica, in conjunction with the state government, gave 52 Land Rover Jeep as their own contribution for Mari Festival. I would say that we've not really lost or the agreement with Costa
You've
Rica.
not really lost, but
Or
you've
we-
partially lost.
No, I think there's been a disconnection over time, but I know we can reconnect again with that company.
What caused the disconnection? Is it the politics of it or the bureaucratic bottlenecks of it?
Well, I don't want to go into that. I know one thing I want to assure you is that apart from Costa Rica, for this year's event, we will be, bringing on board other partners that will partner with us. Once they know now that Mari is back, I know other investors or partners will be willing to come
Where
on
are
board.
the 52 land regimes?
I don't want you to put me in a tight corner.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking a question.
No, I don't want to put me. That's with the question you're asking. I'm not in the best position to answer that, but that's one we have to. That one I know it borders on policy direction. So let's leave that. I don't want to talk about that. But
I know you don't want to talk about it. I just want to know if those vehicles are still available.
I know.
Available.
Yes, those vehicles are available because
Where
I know.
are they?
No, I know what really happened was that at the end of the first event, a Mari Festival, the government felt that it would be difficult for the ministry to manage 52.
Okay.
And looking at the fact that as at that point, a lot of MDAs were short of, vehicles for running around, and the government felt there's a need to redirect this vehicle to put them to maximum use. And I know most of these vehicles were distributed to other MDAs. Like we still have some within our own MDA, but I think it would be foolish of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism to want to hold on to those 52 vehicles.
How many do you now have within your ministry?
I think we have 4 presently with us, and 4 presently, and I know other MDAs are still having those vehicles with them. You see them, flying the road. And majorly, those vehicles are good for rural areas, and I think it was the right direction for government at that point in time to redirect these vehicles to those areas.
All right. So how do the ministry intend to get corporate sponsorship and for these festivals? And
I
sponsorship.
think that's one major areas that we would put all our effort to, because, like I said, we need private sector partnership for not for Mari only, but for other, other programs and projects that we have for the tourism industry this year. And what we intend to do is, starting from this first quarter, we will be writing to major corporate organizations in the country. We will be asking for their support for Mari Festival and for some other projects that we have. Like, now the government is keenly interested in developing the southern senatorial district, like the Araromi seaside, and that's one major project that the ministry is looking forward to, because we believe that particular project can open up the development of the state, and we are keen, and Mr. Governor also is seriously interested in developing that particular axis.
What was the paperwork like?
For the Araromi
Yes.
seaside, like last year we got the nod of Mr. Governor.
I know you got the nod of the governor.
To
what was the paperwork?
That's what I want to say. We got the nod of Mr. Governor to, take the lead in constructing our own resort. And as we speak now, we've almost completed the architectural drawing and 3D to be presented to Mr. Governor in respect of the proposed resort. We believe that if we do this, it will also ginger other investors to want to come in and also take advantage of the coastline and also, build their own resort.
Are you talking with any investor as it stands?
Like-
The Coast Carries was almost the sole partner of Ondo State government back then, before some other efforts were put into place. Now, you say you're bringing back Mari. Mari is for the central senatorial district, you agree with me. The Aramisi side, that's for the southern. And I do not know the thinking direction of your ministry via the government. Igogo Festival is supposed to be for the North Arena. So what's the paperwork like? What exactly is the thinking direction of this administration towards enhancing culture and tourism along these 3 lines?
Okay, like I said the other time, the first thing we try as much as possible to do is to ensure that the 3 senatorial districts are represented in the development of the culture and tourism sector in the state. Like you rightly said, for the southern senatorial district, we're looking at the Araromi seaside. For the central, we're looking at the Idori Hills, and then the Mari Festival, and some other. We have the Sunshine Festival also coming. That festival will be coming along with the 50th anniversary of the state. And for the Northern Senatorial District, we have the Ebomi Lake is in the pipeline. We're also working on the 3D and the architectural design for that particular site. And also we have the Gogo Festival, like I brightly mentioned, along with some other festivals that we have lined out for this year. Like I said, it's not possible for us to totally, promote all the, the festivals in the state. But we are starting with this few. Then subsequent year we'll add more. Looking at the success we will record for this year. So for the blueprint now, we are discussing with some investors to see how they can come on board in developing the vast tourism potentials and cultural, potentials that we have in Ondo State. I don't want to give out some of the details of what we are doing.
Very well.
I can assure you, we are working on
agree with me. Next month will be the 50th anniversary of the state, and so if you're saying you're planning Sunshine Festival especially, and at this time we're not seeing concrete plans. What then is the assurance that Sunshine Festival will be a success?
I can assure you that for Sunshine Festival we've done 90% of what we should have done. Most of the costume that we need for the Sunshine Festival is on ground. The local government will be having 50 representatives from each of the local government, because our intention is to pull over 1,000 people from the 18 local governments that will be, that will represent each of these local government. And I can tell you authoritatively that the local government chairman of this local government in Ondo State will lead their team to this festival. So I can assure you the festival will hold.
All right. Beyond holding the festival, I'm also interested in knowing what exactly will be the benefits of these festivals to the state. Beyond attracting tourists to the state and all of that, what benefits will the ordinary citizen of or resident of Ondo State enjoy from all of this? Or is it just about spending the money?
No. For every event of this magnitude, there is always a direct and indirect economic benefit to either the state or the people within the state. I can tell you for a fact that during the 50th anniversary and even the Sunshine Carnival that will be coming up, a lot of people will be coming into the state. Now imagine the economic benefit in terms of the transportation, in terms of accommodation. Most of the hotels I can say will be fully booked during this period, and that's a benefit to the people. Apart from other eateries, hospitality sectors that also gain a lot of people. There will be direct economic benefit to the people of the state. I can assure you of that.
Now let's do a post-mortem quickly. That will be lots of benefits to the people. Of course, many benefits to the people in your words. So let's do a post-mortem. Roughly 1 month already. Mari Festival was held
in December.
What benefits did we have from that?
Yes, I think if you sample the opinion of people,
you have records.
Yes, we do.
From your records,
yes,
what's the benefit so far?
Like for instance, now during the festival, we had a lot of how will I call it? Local, business enterprise that came on board to sell their product during the festival, and we got feedback from a lot of them thanking us that festival has really boosted their stay, created more awareness for their products, and they are looking forward to the 2026 Mari Festival, looking at the success that they recorded during this. So I know for this year, like Mr. Governor did promise also that the 2026 Mari Festival is going to be an expanded one, bigger than what we had in 2020. So it's not going to be an abridged? No. We have a full Mari for 2026.
Okay, we keep talking about festivals, which is the cultural part of it. What about now tourism? Aside the festivals, are we saying that those places would not be in use only when festivals come? Then we know, okay, there will be a lot of attraction. So what can we do to also keep that tourism attraction there?
Okay, like I said the other time, we are working around repositioning most of the sites that we have. We have the Okidori, like you've been saying earlier. We have the Ebomi Lake. We have Igbo Olodumare in Okegbo. And then we have the Araromi seaside, which is what we are working on presently, because we felt, like I said the other time, there's a need for us to open up that particular axis. Looking at the proximity of Araromi seaside to Ibejuleki in Lagos, it's just about 45 minutes drive to Ibejuleki. For us, we want to take advantage of the economic benefits in Lagos State, attract them to Ondo State, using Araromi seaside as a flagship. Now, once that particular axis is developed, I can assure you that a lot of expatriates, most especially, the closeness of Dangote refinery and cement to Araromi State, would want to live in our own part of the country, and there will be a lot of growth in economic activity around that axis. We are looking at that. We want to take advantage of that. Equally, we want to reposition the Idore Hills to make it more attractive, to increase the number of tourists that will be coming to Idore Hills. And then Idore Hills is an international tourist center, well known, is on the tentative list of UNESCO. We want to do that. Also, we want to look at the Ebomi Lake. Ebomi Lake, over the years, we're looking at what we can do to actually develop that.
If you want to cut into your flow, I think what I just want to know on behalf of the people is, what will be the plan to ensure that these sites are put to use day in, day out? I give you an instance. The State has also gone a step further in developing its Ikogosi One Spring Resort, and you find it up and working every time.
Yes.
So what would you do?
Well, let me say something. If you look at the development of Ikogosi, like you just mentioned, it took them time also, to, bring the site to the present state that it is. And that's what we are equally trying to do. It doesn't come in a day. We are trying to reposition the site to make it attractive, like you have rightly said. And how do we do that? We need to, set the plan in such a way that, one, the site will not be closed, because we don't want to close the site while we are working on the redevelopment. We want to keep the site alive while we're working on it, and that will mean for us to plan it in such a way that, both would flow at the same time. But I won't say that in the next 6 months the site would look, but it's going to take us a while. But I can assure you, we will start with the redevelopment, and by the time we get to the end of this year, you will have seen
so you're not a politician.
I'm a civil servant.
Yeah, a civil servant. So I'd like just to know if there's anything in the paperwork yet.
Yes, there are. We've done the redesign. We've done the redesign, how it's going to look like. We have.
How sure are you that these paperwork will become reality work?
Let me tell you, I'm 100% sure of this present administration, and
Why are you sure?
Yes, because I have had the opportunity to sit with Mr. Governor on this particular issue, which is the development of culture and tourism, and I see the vibe, the determination and the passion of Mr. Governor to reposition. So I'm 100% sure that this administration would reposition, redevelop, and put the tourism and culture sector in a position that would make Ondo State one of the best years of attraction in Nigeria.
Well, the people of Ondo State will be willingly waiting to see the reality of all of this. And of course, you've also been at the ends of affairs as far as the Mari Festival is concerned, the mountain climbing and all of that. So the people will be holding you to your words.
Of course, I know.
Dr. Adeola, Director, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, thank you so much for coming on here today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the issues we've raised. Everyone, it's been a wonderful moment with him, and of course, we've looked at issues surrounding culture and tourism in Ondo State. We'll take a break. When we return, AM Today continues. Please do stay with us.
Chief Michael Adekunle Ajashin, born November 28, 1908, was a distinguished Nigerian educator, politician, and statesman renowned for his integrity, commitment to democracy, and transformative impact on education in Nigeria. Born in Owo, present-day Ondo State, Ajashi began his education at St. Andrew's College, Oyo, from 1924 to 1927, where he trained as a teacher. He furthered his studies at Fowler Bay College in Sierra Leone, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree in English, Modern History and Economics in 1946. He then obtained a postgraduate diploma in education from the University of London in 1947. Ajashin's career in education commenced with his appointment as principal of Imadi College in Owo in 1947. He was instrumental in staff development, encouraging teachers to pursue further training at institutions like University College Ibadan. In 1963, he founded Owo High School, serving as the first principal until his retirement in 1975. Ajashin's political journey began in the 1950s as a founding member and national vice president of the Action Group, advocating for policies such as free education, universal health care, and Nigeria's immediate independence. He served as a federal legislator from 1954 to 1966. In 1979, he was elected governor of Ondo State under the Unity Party of Nigeria (UPN), with Akin Omoboriwo as his deputy. His administration prioritized education, establishing the Ondo State University in 1982, now Ekiti State University, and the Polytechnic Owo. In the 1983 elections, Ajashin was initially declared the loser amid allegations of electoral malpractice. However, the Supreme Court later reinstated him, affirming his victory. His tenure was cut short by the military coup on 31 December 1983. In 1939, Ajashin married Baba Funke Tenabe, a fellow educator. They had 4 children, including Olajumoke Anifowoshi, who later served as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Ondo State. Ajashin's commitment to democracy was evident in the 1990s when he became a leading figure in the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, advocating for the restoration of democracy and the recognition of MKO Abiola's electoral mandate. His activism led to his arrest in 1995 under General Sani Abacha's regime. In recognition of his contributions, Ondo State University was renamed Adekunle Ajashin University in 2000. His governance style, marked by simplicity and incorruptibility, remains a benchmark in Nigerian politics, as he once stated. And I quote, "I came into office in October 1979 with a set of my own rich native dresses and left office in December 1983 with the same set of dresses. No addition, no subtraction." His legacies continue to linger in memories, generation after generation.